Okay, the meeting is now recording, and as I stated, we do have a quorum. So, Mr. Chairman, the floor is yours.
Thank you, sir. I hereby call to order this meeting of the Arizona Boxing and Mixed Martial Arts Commission. Today is Thursday, October 13th, 2022, and the time is 11:01 a.m. Would those commissioners in attendance please identify themselves and state as to whether they're here via phone, via Google Meets, or in person?
Mr. Chairman, this is Joe Pennington. I'm participating via phone and Google Meets.
Very good. Thank you, Commissioner. This is Scott Fletcher. I am participating via telephone. Moving onward. Item B is our new business. B1 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Mr. Christopher Crosby for a 2022 Professional MMA athlete license. Mr. Vella, will you speak to Mr. Crosby's application, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. So, Mr. Crosby is 36 years old, and while he is a new licensee to the state of Arizona, he's certainly not new to the sport. He last competed in December of 2021, in which he won by a submission. When asked about his training regimen, he let me know that he typically trains for about 1 to 2 hours a day, 6 days a week. 2 of those days, he goes a little bit harder and goes twice a day. And then the other days are typically once a day. 3 to 4 days, he lifts weights. And 5 to 6 days, he does MMA and mat work. He does hard striking and sparring 2 days a week. And grappling is daily. He says he feels good and confident about his upcoming bout, and he has no injuries heading into the fight, no recent injuries to report. And all of his medicals came back healthy, so I do recommend his approval.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Vella. Appreciate your thorough analysis of Mr. Crosby's situation. Commissioner Pennington, thoughts, questions?
Mr. Chairman, I have no real questions. I've reviewed the information that Mr. Viel, our executive director, provided, and his comments regarding the training regimen makes a lot of sense. So I have no questions.
Awesome. Thank you. The chair would be open to a motion if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, I move, if we can hold it just a half a second, that we grant pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 as a fighter over age 36, that we grant a new license application to Mr. Christopher Crosby for a 2022 MMA athlete license.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. I am going to second that motion. We now have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
This is Eric Feinstein. I'm here by phone, and I also say aye.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Feinstein. I as well say aye. Commissioner Pennington, I haven't heard from you yet.
Aye.
Very good. Motion carries unanimously. Congratulations to Mr. Crosby. Let's press on to B2, which is also pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 36, the renewal license application submitted by Mr. Ryan Kelly for a 2022 Professional MMA athlete's license. Mr. Vella, would you speak to Mr. Kelly's application, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Kelly is also 36 years old. Mr. Kelly, when he initially put in his application, I was concerned about the gap that he's had, a 4-year gap since his last competition. So I requested that he send me video footage of him sparring so that I could see his current state. And so we did a live video, and he submitted several rounds of sparring to me. I feel that he still got it. And with that, I also dove into what he does, in terms of his training regimen, and he let me know that his His training sessions are up to 2 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week. On Mondays, he spars and does MMA wrestling. On Tuesdays, he runs in the morning and then jujitsu later in the day. On Wednesdays, he does light sparring with position drilling. Thursdays, he does mitt work and active wrestling with a morning run. Fridays, he has open mat jujitsu, 5-minute rounds, around 8 to 10 rounds. And then Saturdays, he runs on his cardio. He says he's confident and excited about his upcoming bout, and he has not experienced any recent injuries. After receiving everything from this applicant, I do think that he's fit to compete, and I recommend his approval.
Thank you, Mr. Vella. And again, thank you. Your thorough descriptions are very helpful to us as well. Commissioners, thoughts for Mr. Kelly?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Kelly, this is Joe Pennington. I noticed that you had a 5-year gap between 2013 and 2018, and now you have a 4-year gap. Could you tell us what you were doing, if anything, in the combat sports during those interim years?
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I mean, I trained consistently at all times, but at that time, 2013 to 2018, I was finishing my college degree and starting a career. Now, I didn't back off on training. I just didn't compete during those years. I competed in some jiu-jitsu tournaments, but I was more focused on starting a career, not in fighting at that point. And then from 2018 till now, I mean, you guys know the COVID hit and everything. It was pretty hard to get a fight. I fought out in Santa Fe, I think it was 2018 or 19, and that's when COVID started hitting, when I was getting another fight. So training consistently, just not easy to find a fight all the time.
Mr. Kelly, thank you for that. I appreciate it. I was just curious as to the reason for the gap, and you have explained it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Commissioner Feinstein, any thoughts?
No, that was going to be my question also. No further questions from me, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, very good. We're all in the same spot. The chair would be open to a motion if one exists.
Mr. Chairman, I move that pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604, that we grant a professional MMA athlete license to Mr. Ryan Kelly as a renewal license.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 3-0. Congratulations, Mr. Kelly. Best of luck to you.
I appreciate it. Real quick, guys, I'm at work right now. Can I jump off now?
Absolutely. Thanks for calling
Thank
in.
you.
We appreciate your time.
Appreciate it.
Item B3 is pursuant to AR sections 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 36. The new license application submitted by Mr. Christopher Skye Richey for a 2022 Amateur MMA athlete license. Mr. Vella.
Mr. Chairman, so Mr. Richey is obviously applying to be an amateur MMA combatant, and this is his first time competing in a regulated amateur MMA bout. So with that, you know, he's 40 years old. I did ask him about his training regimen, and he let me know that his training sessions are 2 hours long. He trains 5 days a week and runs every day. He spars once a week, lifts weights 3 days a week, runs every day 3 miles. He does 2 striking sessions and 2 grappling sessions each week. And he says he feels prepared for this bout. He's put in a lot of work and has been an athlete his whole life. And this is just the next competition or challenge that he's putting himself in. He says he's experienced no recent injuries and feels ready to compete. Based on the analysis that has come back from the documents that he submitted to us, everything with Mr. Richey appears to be normal, and I do recommend his approval.
Thank you, Mr. Vella. Commissioners, thoughts, questions regarding Mr. Richey's application?
Mr. Chairman, Mr. Richey, you're 40 years old. Why are you wanting to step in a ring at this point?
Because I love being in shape, and it gives me something to work towards, and I'm just looking to compete, and I've always wanted to fight, and so I didn't want this opportunity to pass me up to see where I could be.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Richey.
Thank you, Commissioner. Mr. Feinstein, any thoughts or questions?
No, none for me. Given that it's an amateur bout and an amateur rule set, I have a little bit less concern than I would if it were a professional license. So no questions for me.
I tend to agree. It sounds like we're all in agreement on that. The chair would be open to a motion if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, I move that pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604, that we grant a new amateur MMA license to Mr. Christopher Skye Richey for 2022.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries 3-0.
Sure, appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman, Mr.
Best of
Chairman,
luck to you.
might
Yes.
I ask, where is Rage in the Cage 2 going to be held?
It will be at the Stratus Event Center here in Phoenix. It's the same facility they used in their last event, sir.
Okay, and that's tomorrow night?
Correct.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's jump into C, our old business. C1 is pursuant to ARS sections 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604 for persons over the age of 36, the new license application submitted by Mr. Freddy Sandoval for a 2022 Professional MMA athlete license. Mr. Vella, will you speak to Mr. Sandoval's application, please?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Sandoval is the gentleman who we had on our previous agenda, and the commission had asked me to do a sparring review, and so we had tabled his agenda item, and I did the sparring review. Mr. Sandoval sent over tons of rounds of sparring, and I feel very confident in his abilities. He's done well in several disciplines of combat sports, but from what I saw in the footage, he still is capable of continuing as a professional MMA fighter, and so I do recommend his approval.
Thank you. We really appreciate you being thorough in sorting these out. I think we probably handled this the correct way by backing off for a bit and kicking the tires a little bit, but I appreciate you doing so. Commissioners, thoughts regarding Mr. Sandoval?
Mr. Chairman, same concern. I mean, there's a huge gap between 2009 and 2022. However, Mr. Sandoval did compete in a televised event and in March, and is coming back at this point. So I guess my concern is fairly alleviated because of the March bout that he undertook.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Feinstein, thoughts?
No, I feel obviously we've had some concerns about them, but the fact that Mr. Bell has been able to observe some sparring rounds and feels like the fighter is competent and capable of protecting himself. I think that's the question that I needed answered. So thank you.
Thank you. I tend to agree as well. The chair would be open to a motion, if there is one.
Mr. Chairman, pursuant to ARS 5-227, 5-228, and AAC R19-2-C604, that we grant a professional MMA license, new professional MMA license to Mr. Freddy Sandoval for 2022.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. Is there a second?
I second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries 3-0. Thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations, Mr. Sandoval. Mr. Vella, D is call to the public. Are there any folks who would like to talk to us today?
Mr. Chairman, I do not believe there are. Let me just do a double check. No, sir. It does not appear any members of the public would like to speak.
Okay, thank you. E is the call to the commission. Commission members or the executive director may introduce a summary of current events, ask questions, and or make comments. Anything we need to talk about? Mr. Vella, commissioners?
Nothing from me, sir.
Thank you.
Nothing for me, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, we're going to set a record for quick meeting, it sounds like. Item F.
Nothing.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner. Item F is the announcement that the next regularly scheduled commission meeting will be at 11 a.m. on Wednesday, October 19th, 2022, and is subject to change based on a quorum. And item G is adjournment. Do we have a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we adjourn the meeting.
Thank you, Commissioner. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I'll second the motion.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Motion carries unanimously. We are officially adjourned. Thank you all for your time. And we'll be getting together again on October 19th. So more to come soon. Take care, everybody.